Sega.
Eggman! 動物たちを返せ！へえくれてやるわい。
うわ、なんてこと。急いで引き返さないと。
チャンスやな。ですね。よっぽど動物が好きなんすね。おい、あれはなんだ。
あれはもしかして幻の大陸ローストヘックス。
とりあえずあそこに着地だ。
そうだね、着地するよ。振り落とされないでよ。
Hello everyone, this is Shadow BB7X, as well as BB7 and BBX, and this is Sonic Lost World for the Nintendo Wii U. So this is a blind playthrough of the game, recorded about quite a month ago as far as the game is concerned. And this is obviously unlike, of course, my trials with Sonic the Hedgehog 4 as I posted on BB7. This is a post-commentary blind playthrough instead of a real-time commentary that accompanies my blind playthrough, as I originally intended, but it didn't quite go into plan. So just some post-commentary on, or just reflecting on what exactly I did as I blindly play through Sonic Lost World for the first time. So here we are in the first zone in the game, Windy Hill. Once again, the Sonic Team, Sega, continuing the usual tradition of naming their first zones with the word hill in them. And probably to sum up my first impression of Sonic Lost World, essentially back to basics. And of course, there's that fact that obviously it has some sort of hints of Mario Galaxy considering the gravity physics. And otherwise, you know, it's just another Sonic game. Really brings you back to basics, as in, just Sonic usual being the jump, homing attack, spin dash, just run around the place. None of the usual, the heavily criticized boost to win kind of levels as prevalent, beginning with Sonic Unleashed, move on to Colors, Generations. Just a more you can easily control around, exploring kind of a Sonic game than essentially speed your way to the win here. Of course, all controls are done with the Nintendo Wii U's gamepad. The A button, of course, being the jump, B button doing a bound jump, following a jump, as well as the crouch. Another returning move in Sonic the Hedgehog series of games, the bound jump. As well as, really close to the near miss right down there. As I here, just still getting used to how Sonic controls in the game. at least he's much looser than he is right now compared to in his more recent games, such as say Unleashed, where as much as one wants to explore around the level, Sonic feels a little bit tight, moves around like a boat, and tragically, there goes my first death in the game. All because of control of you're still adjusting to the usual how Sonic controls in this game. But on the positive side, he does feel loose, really sportive. Really, of course, appropriate to the current context of being all the levels of Sonic's world being like you could take any various paths and find your way to the finish. Of course, probably plenty of being a Nintendo exclusive game has a lot of some little elements borrowed from the Mario games. Not of course, especially notably the gravity system here. It's probably that in Mario Galaxy. But otherwise, it's just a Sonic game by itself, probably with a little taste of Nintendo in it. And once again, those wisps from Sonic Colors make a return here. And my first impression of returning to Wisp in this game is, probably another attempt to rebound Sonic Hedgehog series is, I think it's a little bit off. Probably not really quite suitable to the context of this thing. I mean, after all, it's not quite planned, after all, but rather floating concept. Now, another element that Sonic Team got from the Mario series is, while Mario, you have to try to jump high at the end to catch the flag at the end of the Mario levels, Sonic's team's approach is to, if you want to get the highest jump points possible, you have to jump farther and jump on the top of the button that opens the container in the end. And it seems like we go into a little cutscene, so I'll just leave it to you all listening.
だからやめろって。動物さんたちは取り戻せたの？まあ、とりあえず一つは取り返したぜ。何？たった一つだと？一体何やってやがる？俺なら。他の子たちも急いで。エッグマンをほっといたら、また何をしでかすかわからないわよ。任せとけって。
And as I should probably mention in the beginning of this commentary, as I did with other previous gameplay videos of various games involving the Sonic the Hedgehog series, this is all in Japanese. Of course, being my personal preference. Not because, as I probably have to explain this again as I probably explained already in my previous gameplay videos. Not because of that I prefer, not because I understand the Japanese language and how wonderful and how convenient it is, how interesting it is, that Japanese language, to mention its complexity with the characters and whatnot. But it's just the voice dubs. I really enjoyed the voice dubs, the Japanese voice dubs over the English ones. Of course, Junichi Kanemaru reprising his role for Sonic, as he did ever since Sonic Adventure. Along with, of course, Tails. Actually, Tails' voice actors kind of really shifted among different games, especially in the beginning. Among others, Amy, I think, also. And Knuckles also reprising the roles, keeping the roles since Sonic Adventure, and probably as well as Dr. Eggman as well. Likewise with Orbot and Cubot, back in Sonic Colors. Now, as regarding to how I approach when I blindly play through games, I tend to explore rather than finishing all the levels quite quickly. So expect all of that, and then probably that's also an explanation to why probably the next couple of videos Sonic the Hedgehog will also be quite long as we go to, I think, I'll assume, yes, another cutscene.
憎たらしい動物どもを忠実なメカに変える。見事じゃろ。こいつらを使って一気に決着をつけてやるわい。
ネズミごときに大層な作戦だな。
理解できたのか？お前さんたちの出番も用意してやる。 それまで黙って言うことを聞くんじゃな。今度こそソニックともお別れじゃ。
くだらん。ネズミ一匹敵ではない。
俺様が出るぜ。やりたくてうずうずしてるんだ。
構わん。遊んでやれ。ただしやりすぎるね。適度に泳がせるんだ。
へへへ、わーってるよ。やってやるぜ。キューソニック。
さて、エッグマンのライバルはどこで。
And now we're introduced to the Deadly Six, parent Sonic's minions, as well as we introduce ourselves to the leader of the Deadly Six, Zavok, the red one, and perhaps the most popular and my personal favorite of all the Deadly Six, Zaz. Now, compared to I watched prior to recording this, or actually commentating this, just and oh well, all that's said and done. But anyway, as I was saying, regarding Zaz, first, as I'll probably spoil things a bit, the first Deadly Six encounter. Well, probably it's not really quite spoiled since that stuff anyway. I watched the English version of, or actually gameplays of Sonic Lost World in the English language, and I would say. If you play the game in the Japanese version, I mean, you could, or play the game in Japanese, of course, probably here is probably a good source for it also. If you didn't know already, you could turn on the closed captions right there as I translate each of the lines. Since it's the Japanese, they're in the game, for guys' convenience. But speaking of Zaz, though, compared to his English or his English portrayal of him, his English portrayal of Zaz is probably much more of like, I would say, like an adrenaline junkie of sorts. Here, you could probably catch some probably one tweet of mine here on one on the Nintendo Network. Probably that's really trivial matter anyway. He is a total psycho. And I could probably show it to you as, of course, if you've been turning on the closed captions, my translations of the game, or how, of course, which of course took a lot of time. Just having a little trouble right there, trying to get used to the new parkour system, which of course seems quite convenient, but but of course just starting out seems a bit of a pain. Now, I'm not sure now. Now the reason why I quite stopped there, I just really want to hear again what Zaz just said there. So. Probably back in the English one. No, actually we got to. So I should probably explain the boss right here, which is actually quite simple. I mean, how could it be so hard for just start a boss anyway? But what Zaz was saying earlier, as I was trying to get to that earlier, is that kind of going along the lines of like, I'm much better than you. You think you're cool, but I'm cooler than you, and I can't wait to dash you up. But probably just to explain more of and of course there's that infamous "Go to Hell" line, which apparently, of course, for the sake of all you kids out there in the English-speaking world, is left off, and that's what I like about Zaz in the Japanese version, because he sounds more like a psycho. And of course, as well as support, as you could probably see in the subtitles, as brought to you by the Closed Captions. So, very straightforward zone to Windy Hill. Zaz wasn't a big of a problem. A couple of bashing, simple jump and dodge things. And, I forgot to say that, instead of going through the entire zones, I decided for this playthrough, I decided to go 2 zones at a time. For sake of time, I'm going to probably say like a 15-minute Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing video that I posted in BB7. So, quite a bit of a starting comments right now. So anyway, we'll continue this in the next edition. As once again, this is BB7 saying to you so long. Have a nice day.